Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? It is January the 5th today, and it is a cold day here in South Carolina again. Really wanted to get outside. I've been, ever since I got home yesterday, I've just been laying in the bed, and I've been in the house, other than making that video yesterday, but like I said, I've just laid in the bed, and I've been looking forward to getting outside today just to be able to film this video. I am going to go back inside after I'm done and just lay back down and continue to rest. Just a quick little update. After I got home yesterday, I felt pretty good after I left the hospital yesterday, and I didn't have a lot of pain when I left. I mean, I had a little bit, but it just wasn't as bad as it's been. Got home and filmed the video, and then right after I filmed the video and started uploading, my stomach just started hurting really bad, and kind of find out they had just pumped me full of pain medicine while I was in the hospital. I wasn't aware. My mom told me that before I'd woken up, they had been giving me pain medicine. When I woke up, the guy kept giving me pain. It was like every 10 minutes he was giving me another shot. And then they gave me some oral medicine for the ride home. And I guess they just had me so loaded with pain medicine that I just didn't feel anything. And then I guess it wore off about the time that I got the video uploaded yesterday, and then my stomach just started hurting really bad. I laid down and I took a hot bath. Well, I took a hot bath first, and then I laid down and I put an ice pack on my stomach, and I actually fell asleep. And then I woke back up pretty early, took another hot bath, and went and laid back down, fell asleep. And then I woke up, I don't know, it was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and my stomach, as soon as I woke up, my stomach was just killing me. And I was just hurled over with cramps, and I got up. I didn't want to take another bath, but I could not get into the kitchen to make myself an ice pack. I couldn't find my wife. She had gotten up to go take care of my youngest son, and I just couldn't do it. So I just hopped in the bath and laid in there for a little bit longer. Got back out, went to sleep, and I continued to do that all night last night. I'd sleep for like maybe 45 minutes, an hour, get up and then get back in the bath again, or I'd get my wife to get me a pack of ice, and I put that on my stomach, and then I'd be able to drift back off for just a little bit, and just it all night long was like that. So I haven't had a whole lot of sleep. Thinking back on it now, I kind of wish I had stayed, but like I said, I didn't really hurt that bad, and I felt like, somebody else probably deserved the bed over me, and later on I found out that it was a lot worse than I thought it was, but that's neither here nor there now. It's all over with. I'm home, and I'm just going to deal with it. Matter of fact, my stomach's hurting pretty bad right now, but I'll be okay. I just got to be careful about what I eat. So anyway, with that said, I want to thank everybody so much for all of the great video ideas that you guys gave me. And once again, thank you so much to everybody that, prayed for me, and all the wishes to get better, and just all the nice comments that you guys gave me. I mean, there were so many, I just could not keep up. And I didn't feel good last night, and I just finally laid my phone down and said I have to try to go to sleep. And I'm so sorry that I didn't get back to everybody yesterday. I got up about 6 o'clock this morning and jumped on there and just started replying to everybody's comments. So if I missed you, I'm so sorry. I'm pretty sure I got to everybody, but if I missed you, let me know. And I apologize. I really try my best to keep up with all the comments and get back to everybody. You guys are so important to me, and I don't want to leave anybody out. Like I've said before, if you take the time to comment, I should take the time to reply. And that's just the polite thing to do. And I mean, it has nothing else to do with it's just being polite. And I mean, you guys took the time to comment to me. I mean, I just feel like I just need to. And there's a lot of questions in there too that people asked that I need to get on there and answer. So anyway, if I didn't get to you, please let me know. And once again, I apologize. If you had a question for me and I missed it, re-comment again, and it'll go back to the top of the comments. Sometimes I have to like really dig for those. there's a comment section that's under like your analytics, and it'll show a bunch of your comments that'll like go down like that, and then you can go underneath each video, and I try to go under each one of the videos and look, but at this point now I think I've almost got like 40 videos, so I just can't get underneath each video and look. And like I said, sometimes they don't pop up and I don't see them, and sometimes I'll find comments like weeks later and I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed that person, and I still try to get back to you. So anyway, with that said, with all I've been through the past couple days, I figured with all the and once again, thank you for all of the great ideas, and I'm gonna make videos on those ideas that you guys gave me. But I was laying in the bed this morning, I was thinking to myself, you know, I just had this procedure, and unfortunately, one of the things that comes along with, you know, alcohol health-related illnesses is you're gonna have to deal with the ERCPs. I mean, it's just part of all of it, and I figured, why not today talk about ERCPs? What's an ERCP? Why do they do ERCPs? What do they look for when they're doing ERCPs? And a few tips and tricks that I have when going to have ERCPs. At this point, oh man, I think I've had like 9 or 10. Either it's somewhere between 8 to 10 ERCPs at this point. I remember the first time that I went in for my first ERCP, and they looked at my chart and saw the alcohol-related illnesses that I had, and the lady said, "You don't know anything about this?" I said, "No, I've never had an ERCP before." And she goes, "Well, get ready, because you're about to get really used to them. This is just part of it." And she was exactly right, because it is. So I figured, why not talk about this today and go over it, explain it all to you guys, and you know, it might be a tool that you could use. You could ask your doctor about doing. So first off, let's talk about why they do an ERCP. One of the things that they can do with an ERCP, they can do this with an endoscopy as well, but a lot of times they'll go in there and look and check for varices inside of your stomach. The first time that they did an ERCP on me, when the doctor went in there, and I'd already had a bunch of MRIs and all this stuff done and CAT scans, but they went in there and looked in with the camera, and when I woke up, I'm thinking I'm gonna get, you know, some at least decent news or whatever, and the doctor said, "Man, I'm so sorry, your stomach looks like hamburger meat." I mean, there was so many varices in there, and I'd been bleeding too, that was my first ERCP, was finding that out, and it was really discouraging. But with that said, another thing they can do with an ERCP is they can go in and they can band up those varices. The only problem is when they do those bands, because they've talked about doing them for me in the past, is that when they band off those varices, that back pressure goes somewhere else, and it's just like plumbing in a house or something like that. If you've got a pipe clogged, that water is going to go somewhere, and it might come out of a drain in a shower somewhere or something like that. But what ends up happening in your body is, when you band up those varices, that pressure will often travel to your lungs and other organs, and then it can create varices in those areas, and then those varices can burst. So sometimes those can create issues. They've talked about doing it with me in the past before, but they decided against it because of what the repercussions that could come along with it. So with that said, it's one of those things they more or less do in an emergency situation. They'll go in there and put bands on if they just can't get the bleeding to stop. Of course, they'll go in there for pancreatitis. They'll go in there and they'll look at your pancreas, take pictures of it. The thing that they put down your mouth is like a flexible tube with a camera and a flashlight on it, and they can attach other instruments to it as well. And what they will do is they'll go in there and take pictures, and at the end of it, they'll give you the pictures of your pancreas so you can look at it. And mine was really inflamed. I remember one time they had given it to me. They also can go in there and do any kind of work on your gallbladder, doing an ERCP. Pancreas procedures such as draining cysts, which I've had done. I think I had 3, 4, it might have been 5 pseudocysts at one time they had to go in there and drain. They can put stents in the pancreas, do dilation of the pancreas, and that's about it as far as the pancreas is concerned. They can check for cancer of the liver, doing an ERCP. And I think they can actually do a biopsy going through there. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that they check for liver cancer doing ERCPs. Blockages or stones in the bile ducts, and blockages in the pancreatic duct as well. And also they can check for pancreatic cancer doing ERCPs. One thing with the bile ducts and what ends up happening is your gallbladder can drop a stone a lot of times, and it'll go across and then end up into your pancreatic duct, and that can cause pancreatitis as well. And then go in there and they can pull those stones out of there and relieve the pressure. What is an ERCP? Now, if I get this wrong, excuse me. Like I've said before, I'm not a doctor, and I'm gonna try my best here, but it's an endoscopic retrograde cholangiopancreatography. Cholangiopancreatography is what it's called. So that's what the acronym stands for. But it combines endoscopy and fluoroscopy to diagnose, treat problems of the biliary and pancreatic ductal systems. It is performed by highly skilled and high specialty trained gastroenterologists. I know my doctor that I have is really, really good, and just like when I was there yesterday, he had 7 patients in one day. And like I said again, it's a flexible tube with a light and a camera on the end. They can attach like grips and things like that to it. And yesterday when I went into surgery, I asked them, could they please show me the tool that they use to dilate your pancreas, and they went to show it to me, and then all of a sudden I went to sleep. But the lady started explaining it to me. She said it's like almost like a needle that they stick in there, and then it blows up. But I really wanted to see that, but I don't remember. So anyway, just some things about having ERCPs done, just some stuff, and this is all off my head. I didn't go anywhere looking for this, and some of this stuff I actually I remember the nurse talked to me about yesterday, and like I said, this is just all stuff that I've learned over doing these, speaking with the nurses and the doctors. I did look this one up though. 40% of high-risk patients, when they go in for an ERCP, do end up with pancreatitis after the fact. So if they go in there to do any kind of like pancreatic work on you, and you have like chronic pancreatitis like I do, you run a 40% chance of getting pancreatitis when they're doing that procedure. So that's one thing to look out for. And that's one of the reasons that I've stayed in the hospital after these ERCPs done, because I have had pancreatitis occur due to having an ERCP before, and I just don't want to come 3 hours back home, find out I'm in the middle of pancreatitis, and I got to drive all the way back down to Charleston. So that's why I would prefer to stay there. You run a risk between 2 to 10% just for the normal population of getting pancreatitis after having an ERCP done, because they do go in there and fiddle around with your pancreas, and that can upset it really easily. Before the procedure, they tell you no gum, any mints that morning, no smoking or tobacco products before the procedure. You can't eat or drink anything 12 hours before your procedure. They do allow you to take like a sip of water if you need to take your medications in the morning. If you're on any kind of diabetic medications, like by mouth forms of like for instance, I take Jardiance, they don't want you taking that. And they also tell you, if you're a diabetic, that you need to take half of your amount of long-acting insulin. I take my long-acting insulin at night. So they tell you that you need to take half of your long-acting insulin the night before, as opposed to the whole dose, because they don't want your blood sugar to get too low during the procedure, and they do not want you taking any fast-acting insulin the day of the procedure at all. Also, another thing too, if you're like me, you're on blood thinners. I take a blood thinner by mouth. I take Eliquis. Every time that I go in for an ERCP, because there's a chance of you bleeding from them doing that they have to put you on a short-acting blood thinner or anticoagulant. What they always do with me is they do what's called a bridge, and they give me a medicine called Lovenox, and there's another one too called Heparins. usually they'll give you heparins when you're in the hospital, but because it's so short acting, but they have to keep taking your blood like every 2 hours or something like that, and they take your blood, they check it to see what the therapeutic level is of the heparins, and they'll keep adjusting it over and over again, and it's a process. They have to have another nurse come in the room. They have to do the math, everything, and then another nurse has to sign it off that she agrees with it before they go and up the dose or lower the dose on your heparins. So it's a whole process of being in the hospital. But being outside the hospital, they can do what I said. They can give you Lovenox bridge, and then you have to give yourself injections, and it's twice a day. You take it every 12 hours. So I'll get up and take mine at 7 a.m. in the morning, and I'll take it at 7 a.m. at night. You take that 3 days before your procedure. So they'll tell you to stop taking your Eliquis or whatever by mouth blood thinner that you're on 3 days prior. Then you bridge with the Lovenox for 3 days, and then the day of your procedure you don't take any blood thinner, and then you go have your procedure done. And then after the procedure you go back to taking your by mouth form of anticoagulant that you're on. They put you all the way under when you have an ERCP done. There's no twilight or any of that kind of stuff that I'm aware of, but they do tend to put you completely asleep. So they put a breathing tube in and all that stuff when you go under. It's about an hour to an hour and a half, somewhere around there, for an ERC to be done, just depending on what they're doing and the complications that might be going on. I've had it go anywhere from, I've had it all the way up to 2 hours before. They do tend to really bang your mouth up when they're doing it, and they'll ask you right before the ERCP to open your mouth all the way, and they'll look and they'll ask you, do you have any loose dentures or bridges or anything like that in your mouth? Because when they're putting that in there, I guess they put like a mouth guard in and they slide that down through, but they don't want to knock something loose and have it go down your throat. So you need to make sure that if you have any partials or stuff like that, go and remove them. But they will bang it up my lips. I don't know if you can see this or not. I got a bunch of places right there on my lips and up top right here where they banged it around. I could feel the inside of my mouth where they like banged up against my teeth, my lips. So they're pretty sore this morning. You will end up with a sore throat when you wake up, because they are, actually putting something down your throat, and it's normal for you to be spitting up blood after the fact. There's been many times that, I'll ask for a tissue or something, and I'll wipe and spit, and there's blood in it. The nurse was just talking about this yesterday, that if you end up with black or tarry stools after you have an ERCP, that's totally normal for the first bowel movement, but anything after that, you need to get doctor's attention, and they need to check that out, because that could be a serious complication. They will pump your stomach full of air when they do it, I guess sometimes, in order for them to get into certain places. So it is normal after the ERCP for you to feel pretty bloated for about 2 or 3 days after the fact. I guess that air has got to dissipate. But every time I have an ERCP done, I'm bloated. And also another thing that they tend to do too, especially if they're doing any kind of work on your pancreas, they're just going to fill you with fluids. And I can't remember what it's called. It's like a bolus or something like that. But yesterday they gave me 2 full bags yesterday, and I was there not very long. I think we left the hospital at 11 in the morning. We got there at 7. They hooked my bags up at 8 in the morning or something like that, and they pulled it off when I left. But it was 2 full bags in that small period of time. And I know that the fluids can help alleviate any pancreas pain. It can help reduce the swelling of the pancreas, so they tend to like to give you a lot of fluids. They will not let you get up and go to the bathroom alone. When you get to the hospital, the first thing they're going to tell you to do is take off all your clothes, and then they give you these really crappy socks, and they have tread on the bottom of it. Back in the day, they used to have these socks back in the 80s or 90s. They're called totes, if you remember those. But they're really similar to those. They've got these little rubbery grips on the bottom and the top, and they want you to put those on. But if you have to go to the bathroom, and you will, because they're giving you so much fluid, they're going to make you go with someone, and somebody's probably going to have to stand in there with you because they're afraid that you're going to fall. Another thing that they will do too is they will want you to have a ride to and from the hospital, they will not let you go home if you don't have a ride. Actually, they won't even do the procedure if you don't have a ride. Whenever you go in there, they want your ride's information. You have to fill out a card, and then you have to put your ride. They have to see who your ride is, and they need your ride's phone number and all that good stuff. They will not do the procedure if you do not have a ride home. So you want to make sure that you have somebody. So some tips that I have for ERCPs. Unfortunately, I have a lot of experience with this. If I was you and you're going to have an ERCP done, try your best to ask when they go to schedule your ERCP, get one in early in the morning. I found that is the best time to have one done. First of all, you're getting a fresh doctor. I mean, he's there first thing in the morning. He's just had his coffee. You know, he's pumped for the day. And he's probably going to do a really good job and get you out of the way and move on to the next guy. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to do a better or worse job in certain time periods, but from my experience, I just feel like I'd rather have a doctor first thing in the morning when he gets there. He's probably going to be in a better mood when he gets there in the morning. I mean, life is life, and they might just come across something, a patient gets an attitude with them, they end up in a bad mood, it's halfway through the day, they're tired. You never know what's going on in their personal life. They might be having a fight with their wife and blah, blah, blah. I would prefer to get there first thing in the morning, get it done, because not only that, you know, they're not going to let you eat up to prior to the surgery. So that's how much longer you have to wait. So you can't eat at 12 o'clock at night, past 12 o'clock. And then if your surgery is not until 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can't eat or drink anything until then. It's pretty miserable going all day long, not be able to eat or drink anything. So I find it best just to get it over and done with, and you got the rest of the day. And I'm not saying you're going to be eating large meals after you're done. I would not suggest that, which I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. You want to make sure that you wear clothes that are easy to get in and out of, because like I said, when you get there, they're going to make you remove all of your clothing. They will not let you wear your underwear when you go in there. Why? I don't know. I mean, I just don't get that part, but they make you take them off, and you are totally nude with the gown on. So I would suggest getting something that's going to be easy to get on and off. Especially putting back on, because you're going to be kind of out of it, and you know, trying to get your clothes back on, and especially if it's a bunch of stuff like belts. And I would definitely wear something like jogging pants and a jogging shirt and some, you know, socks that are easy to slide on and off, and some easy shoes to slide on and off. And as a matter of fact, I'll show you these ugly shoes that I like to wear. But I find these really good for the hospital. These things are uglier than sin, but it's these, you know what they're called. I'm not gonna say the company name, but they've got that liner in them, and they're just so easy to get on and off. And the hospital is always freezing cold in there, and they're just so easy to get on, and they stay warm, and you know, you can just spray them off after you're done. I always sanitize my stuff when I come back from the hospital. So go ahead and remove all of your jewelry before you go in for the procedure. Yesterday morning when I was getting ready to go, I was taking a shower, and I went ahead and pulled off my rings. And this ring right here can be kind of hard to get off sometimes. It's just a little bit tight. So I made sure that I pulled that off first thing, took some soap and got it off of there. My other ring's not a problem, but this one can be. And I've been in the hospital before, and they said, you need to take your stuff off. And I'm sitting there like freaking out because I'm trying to get it off, and then I start to panic. And I just find it, just go ahead and get it out of the way before you even get to the hospital, and it's off, and then you know where your stuff is, and you don't have to leave it in that bag. And then on top of that, the biggest thing I could recommend is that when you get done with your ERCP, don't go buck wild and just, you know, when you leave the hospital and stop at McDonald's or Wendy's or any of that kind of stuff and eat like a big greasy hamburger and stuff like that, because you are going to pay for it. You need, especially if they've been in there, you know, doing anything with your pancreas at all, give yourself some time. I would definitely like take some like protein shakes, some pudding, some yogurt, some Jello, some of those Jello parfaits, There's lots of things, like anything that's like soft serve, you know, like maybe stop and get some ice cream on the way home, but anything that's going to be like really easy to eat and it's going to be like kind of cooling on your stomach and not hard to digest. I really find that like Jello and protein shakes are just some of the best things in pudding to eat after the fact. Because if you make the mistake and get yourself a big greasy hamburger after one of those procedures, you are going to wish you hadn't. And I can promise you that from experience, because I've done it before. Because I was just ravenously hungry when I got done with my ERCP. And we were on the way home. I hadn't eaten in a long time. And I said, please stop. And I just got one little cheeseburger and ate it. And man, that was not a good idea. But anyway, it's already 25 minutes into the video, and I'm about ready to go back inside and lay down. I'm pretty tired still, but I did want to make another video for you guys today. Like I said, those videos, the ideas that you guys gave me, I'm gonna do those. Don't worry about that. I will do those probably tomorrow or over the weekend. I am also going to do that protein shake that I've been promising for you guys, and some cooking videos. Don't worry, those are coming right on down the pike. I've just been so busy with Christmas and still trying to get videos done every day, replying all the comments, just everything. It's just been a lot, and I am going to get to it. I'm just trying to get caught up, and then I knew I had my procedure and all that good stuff. And then I tried to take my kids camping, and they were on Christmas holiday, so it's just been tough, but I'm going to get to it. I promise I will. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for those videos. They'll be coming up real soon. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I do these videos every single day. Talk about pancreatitis, liver disease, alcoholism. I mean, what the video we just had today, talking about a surgical procedure. We talk about, you know, health in general, and also just life in general, you know, whatever might be on the topic for the day. And you know, I never know what I might talk about. It just depends. And I talk about my life a lot on here as well. You know, I do have a lot of problems. If this is your first time watching these videos, I was an alcoholic for a very long time. I drank a lot of alcohol, and that's what's led me up to where I'm at right now, dealing with all of these health issues due to that fact, is because I was such a bad alcoholic. And the reason for this channel is to spread awareness, to let people know that alcohol is a very, very dangerous drug. And it's not this lackadaisical thing that, you know, that we have fun with, you know, every once in a while on the beach, because that's how it starts, and then it ends up being something totally different. But we also talk about, you know, drugs and things like that, addiction in general. But anyway, like I said, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And, you know, comment in the comment section. Let me know if there's any video ideas you guys have for me. Like I said, I take all those ideas. I love doing them. And this channel's about you guys. I want to know what you all want to hear, what you guys want me to talk about. I love talking about it. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for all the prayers, and thank you so much for all the wishes to get better, and just all the awesome comments. You guys are so awesome, really. You really are. And until tomorrow's video, y'all, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.